Hello and welcome to the Mailbox Rogues Gallery. My name's Sean.
And my name's Burch.
And would you like to clue the listeners into where we are this week, Burch?
Yeah, well, I've got to say, if anybody's listened to the past few episodes, we've gone from dire situation to dire situation, mainly due to your old prison mate Badminton Jones, who seems to get us into these jobs and situations that we just get stuck in and it generally goes wrong for us. But I've got to say, this situation now, sat here on a beach on a beautiful Greek island, I've got to say he's really pulled through for us this time.
See, it's interesting you say that because we were in Transylvania in the last episode, as listeners may recall, and we believed we were getting a nice cruise back home. We were going to go via the Black Sea through Istanbul. I imagine that's how you get from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean, and we were going to do a Mediterranean cruise. However, basically, we got put on a cargo ship and we got dropped off on this Greek island and we can't get home. So I'm surprised that this is the time that you're happy with the way things have turned out.
The cargo ship ride here, admittedly, was shit. I mean, I was in a bad mood when we left Transylvania, and getting onto that cargo ship, having to swab the decks, having to feed the crew, and having to, dance for them as well. It was just humiliating. So, yeah, I was pissed off at that point. But as situations go, it could be a lot worse. I'm trying to take a positive outlook from all of this, Sean.
Well, we are now on the beautiful Greek island of Davros. We are sat on the beach. We're sat on the beach and, our predicament is that we're stuck here. And basically what we've done is we've gotten jobs as holiday reps to kind of earn a bit of money, and then we can make our way back home to Blighty.
That's absolutely right. Taking people out on nice little holiday trips. We've got a coach load of mostly old biddies. Probably going on their last holiday. God bless them.
Hopefully this never gets back to our bosses, but we are on the job right now, aren't we? We've picked up our old biddies from the hotel this morning, and we're meant to be giving them a tour of the island, taking them to lots of beaches, historical sites, things like that. I mean, we didn't really fancy it, to be honest, did we?
No, well, I mean, we've been through a lot. I mean, as you know, we could do with a decent holiday ourselves. So we've left the old dears back in the bus, up on the hill there. But I mean, they've got windows. They can see the sea. Yeah,
I mean, it's a shame that the windows don't open on this hot day, but what can we do about that?
Exactly. I tried cracking the window open a little bit just to give them some air. Didn't work. But, I left the radio on for them, so, what more could they want?
They'll love that. Yeah, you've got Radio 4 on. Lovely bit of classical music. Keep them company.
Actually, I couldn't quite tune into that station, so I left, my dubstep tapes on. Just on a loop.
Oh, they'll love that even more. So we've taken a break from the tour that we're meant to be running. We come down here on the beach. The holiday rep life, I've been enjoying it, apart from the rep part of it. I like the holiday part, but I don't like the rep part. So anytime we have to sort of have to interact with the guests, I'm not a people person, as you well know.
No, nor am I.
It's one thing after the other, really. And also, we'll let the listeners know, we've actually had a few problems with some rival reps. They're on the adjacent island of Mykonos, and those guys, they've been here for years. They see us young blood coming in. They took an instant disliking to us, and we've had a bit of a sort of a war going on between this island and that island.
I didn't realise that the holiday rep vocation was so cutthroat.
It did give us an idea for somebody to speak about this week, though, didn't it?
Alexander the Great, a great tactician in his own right, somebody who conquered a lot of the globe, one of the greatest conquerors who ever lived. So if anyone's going to help us, sort out this other island, it's going to be him.
Yes, so Alexander the Great, he was king of Macedonia from 336 BC to 323 BC, and he conquered a huge empire that was basically the known world at the time. It stretched from the Balkans to what is modern-day Pakistan. Quite an achievement, really. So if we can just take a little bit of that success, a teeny little bit, and we can just conquer this other island, then we will be heroes.
Conquer is the word here. I want to conquer that island. I mean, maybe we don't have any claim to it, having only been on this island for like a week, pretty much. But, I really don't care. I just want to conquer that island.
So what have we learned about Alexander that we can bring to our own conflict?
He was born on the 20th of July, 356 BC, that's before Christ. He was born into royalty. He was the son of King Philip II, so there are a few kind of myths and legends surrounding some of the things that happened when he was born. Now, this could all just be propaganda, basically, from the family, just to kind of boost admiration for the baby Alexander. But such things as Olympias, who was Alexander's mother, saying that she had a dream about a thunderbolt hitting her womb as some kind of sign that there was this kind of godlike being growing in her stomach.
I mean, but we've all had that dream, though, haven't we?
Well, I mean, I've not had it about the womb. I did have a terrifying dream once about a thunderbolt hitting my arse, though.
Oh, hitting your arse, yeah. Sort of. Is that what the film Thunderpants is about, starring Rupert Grint?
No, it's not.
Well,
funnily
hang on.
enough, I had the dream right before Thunderpants had come out. And I thought that's a really weird dream, and I thought nothing of it. And then all of a sudden, there's like all these film posters going around for Thunderpants coming to a cinema near you, and I thought, oh my god, this is some kind of sign from the gods. Oh my god, Thunderpants. I mean, it can't be a coincidence that I had a dream about a thunderbolt hitting my actual pants, and now there's a film called Thunderpants coming out in the cinema. And, so there I was, right, lining up. Famously, it was like round the block of people queuing up to see Thunderpants. And so I was waiting on the opening day for Thunderpants to come in. And I sat there, I was like, oh, I can't wait for this. This is going to be some kind of, I don't know, revelation from God, some sign about what we need to do to be better to one another, some kind of gospel, just some kind of truth, basically. And I sat there, and I'll tell you, Sean, when I realised that the film was about a child, a fat, flatulent child, I was devastated.
That's what it's about, is it? It's not. Didn't touch on your dream at all.
No, not at all. No, I felt like God was laughing at me at that point.
I'm sure. To be honest, I'm sure that every person who went to see Thunderpants felt that God was laughing at them.
I think so too.
Now, if I can just continue to keep us diverted from Alexander the Great, but
of course, yeah. Why break the habit of a lifetime?
What a strange concept for a film. Now, he was a flatulent child, and somehow they harnessed him and Rupert Grint harnessed this into some sort of invention that would lead them to great success, if I recall. I can't remember what the invention was, but I feel like he was wearing some magic pants or trousers that kind of converted the fart energy into. Was it like rocket propulsion or something?
It was a rocket. It was a rocket that they flew into space, yeah.
Into space?
Yeah.
How could... Not even just... I mean, if you even just could propel yourself with a fart 10 feet in the air.
Yeah, I mean, that would be impressive. But space, my God.
But space! Oh, I think I need to rewatch this film.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, maybe there is some message in there that I missed.
Well, we're meant to be playing, for the oldies on the bus, we're meant to be playing them, it's a film night tonight, so we're meant to be putting on Casablanca, which they've asked for. Maybe...
Boring! Let's put on Thunderpants instead.
Exactly, you read my mind. All right, we really should get back to talking about Alexander the Great, though, because this is going to have direct impact on our dealings with the rival island.
No, you're quite right. So... yeah, basically the whole point of that whole Thunderpants discussion was the fact that basically his birth was like some kind of grand event and prophecy. The Temple of Artemis in Ephesus also allegedly burnt to the ground on the day that he was born. Like I say, it could just be propaganda, but it was just them kind of basically saying, yeah, this is a really powerful kid that's been born and he's going to be your leader someday. So... I guess basically what we need is some kind of propaganda. Do we want to start some like scary rumours about us?
Scary rumours about us. Oh, God.
The day he was born, thunderbolt hitting his mum's womb, a temple burning down. Like, what do we want to say? Like, cathedral in Norwich burnt down, like when we were born.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is you do burn a lot of buildings down on your birthday, don't you? It's like my little treat to myself kind of thing. I'll burn a building down. So
yeah,
that's call it propaganda or call it fact. Maybe we should clue them into that.
Maybe, yeah. If we kind of like aim it as a threat, just basically say, you know, Burch, he's known to burn a few buildings down on his birthday. And I'll tell you something, his birthday's coming up, so you guys better be careful.
And you better get him a cake.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, nice caterpillar cake. Do they have those in Greece?
I think it's moussaka cake here.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, one of the last interactions we had with these rival holiday reps, you know, we pranked them really good, didn't we? We got them.
We got them perfectly. It was like something out of Punk'd and Jackass combined.
It was. I mean, listeners, you should have seen it. I mean, you probably all know that the Greeks and the Turkish have a real national rivalry. There's not a lot of love between the two of them. So what we did is their cruise boat that they take out around the Greek islands, we painted a Turkish flag on it. Lots of Turkish flags, actually. So basically, as they were cruising around, all the Greek fishermen were just there pelting them with fish and olives. It was so funny.
Oh, it was incredible. And when the paint washed off on the side of the boat and they realised they'd been had, they must have felt so silly.
Stood there covered in olives, yeah. They got us back, though.
Oh, yeah, fair play, fair play.
You know, because when our island's boat was coming in, you know, it was bringing in all the food supplies and things like that. They blew it up, didn't they, with dynamite?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got a bit of give and take, you know, just like kind of olives for them, dynamite for us. You know, it's fair play to them. They know how to roast us.
Yeah, I mean, the loss of the food supplies that were coming in, that was one thing.
Yeah, that hit the hotel pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, but the real thing that I feel affected me and you is, you know, we had sent for a couple of home comforts to really, you know, so just to ease the homesickness, you know. So they were on that boat as well, weren't they? I mean, it was my copy of the Beano and your jar of Branston pickle. Yep,
yeah. I've not tasted Branston pickle in. I mean, it feels like years at this point, and just to have it cruelly taken from me, you know.
So close. You were so close to having it.
Yeah, and there was like a kind of like a half-cracked jar just like floating in the ocean, and I was there like Tom Hanks from Castaway. I was going, Branston! Branston! And that was just getting further and further away from me. And,
yeah.
You know, now that you mention it, maybe they're playing a bit too hard.
It was a bit rough, wasn't it?
I think it was pretty rough. Dynamite.
Yeah. I mean, because you usually eat like, what, 4 or 5 jars of Branston pickle a day?
Oh, yeah. On their own.
I know
yeah.
For a while it was just the pickle, the Branston pickle, just spoonfuls of the stuff.
Like, it started as like a weight loss treatment, really, the Branston diet. And, like, I lost, must have been about 50 pounds, you know, just eating Branston pickle every day, and I ended up getting a taste for it.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of sounds like you were pickling yourself in a way with all the vinegar you were ingesting.
I mean, I did become very jaundiced from it, so I'm just trying to kind of get myself away from that to a more of a healthier hue.
Yeah, well, maybe, you know, eat your moussaka cake, and then get you on the, you know, you've got to try some of these foreign foods while you're out here.
Yeah, I suppose. Maybe if they can fashion the moussaka cake into a sort of a caterpillar cake shape, maybe that'll kind of put my mind at ease and I'll be able to eat it.
Okay, well, ask the chefs when we get back to the hotel if they can do something like that.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's good of you.
Yeah.
Another thing about Alexander the Great, like from his early years, he seemed to have a lot of mentorship, not just from his father, who was like a keen diplomat and a king, but also he was tutored by Aristotle as a child.
Very impressive.
It is really, yeah, one of the greatest thinkers ever known. And the king was just like there, fancy tutoring my son? And he was just like, oh, I don't know really, I don't really tutor. And he's like, well, what is it that you do? It's like, well, I just think, you know.
A philosopher.
I just think profound things. And he's like, is there much racket in that? He's like, not really, no. And then he hired him as a tutor.
Yeah, it's like, go on, I'll give you a tenner. Well, I think, actually, hadn't Philip razed his house to the ground? And he was like, oh, I'll let you rebuild it if you tutor my son.
Yeah, well, his hometown, basically he agreed to restore his hometown of Stagira, or however it's pronounced. And
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus, yeah, he lived in Stegosaurus, and decided to free some of the slaves there, basically as payment for tutoring his son. And he agreed.
So that's very nice. And I wonder whether he was a very dutiful student, or if he was anything like you and I when we were in school, because we were a bit of trouble, weren't we, back in the school days?
We were troublemakers, yeah, that would be fair to say.
I mean, to be fair to us, it's not like we had an esteemed tutor like Aristotle. I mean, the school we went to, it was sort of like, our parents didn't send us to a traditional school, did they? Ours was more like an academy.
That's right, yeah, which sounds fancier.
Yeah, because we were sent to dance academy, weren't we, instead of primary school or secondary school. That's
right, yeah. Our parents, God love them, they thought that the future was dance. So they sent us there because they thought that we'd be able to get a good trade at the end of it.
Something you can rely on, something that's going to put food on your family's table.
Exactly, yeah. They were like, the world needs dancers. Maybe they were just dreamers in hindsight. But, they sent us there and we got our education as dancers, tap, salsa, waltz, the lot.
Your graduating dissertation, I mean, I say dissertation, it was a performance, of course, was the combination of every single dance form into one incredibly fluid 20-minute nightmare.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was The History of Dance, an Odyssey was the name of my final performance. And really it stretched back to prehistoric times, dancing around the fire, dancing to like attract a mate, like with the cavemen.
Tractor mate?
Yeah.
A tractor mate. So a mate with a tractor?
Well, that...
So you're dancing around a fire and then you're dancing around a tractor?
That's right. Well, as you remember, Sean, I wheeled in a massive tractor. Like, the judges... Because it wasn't treated like a normal education, as you know. It was very much
noticed.
Yeah, it was very much like Pop Idol, but for dancers. We had like judges there sat at like a little desk for the final performance, and I thought, how am I going to really wow them? So yeah, I drag out this tractor and then I start dancing around the tractor, starting with like caveman dancing, then going to kind of like medieval kind of court dancing, then going up to modern day, doing some body popping and stuff like that, all around this tractor.
Yeah, and obviously you thought you had the wow factor, forgetting that we grew up in the West Country, so basically everybody was dancing around a tractor all the time.
Yeah, I felt so silly. I thought I had like an original idea, and then the judges were like, okay, thank you very much. I was like, yep, no problem. I walk backstage thinking, I got this in the bag. When I go in the waiting room backstage, fucking about 50 other students there, all with tractors.
I mean, luckily for you, the exhaust fumes from all those tractors backstage did give most people carbon monoxide poisoning, and you did end up winning just because you were the only one who managed to do your dance.
They either, passed out or were just like so ill from the fumes that they couldn't dance. So yeah, I ended up winning.
King of the Dance Academy.
Yeah, I mean, it is a funny way to do a vocational degree, winning. But again, that was just part of the... I think they were setting up for like the cutthroat nature of real life, winners and losers.
Burch, I'm just thinking about that other prank that we pulled on the rival reps last week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now, that one was a belter.
That one was great. Listeners, what we did is we put some rotten fish into the air conditioning unit of their tour bus. And they started the engine, and then it took a little while for the aircon unit to warm up, and they were just streaming off the bus. Everybody was just so upset. It was so funny.
Oh, one of them looked like they were close to being sick.
They did get us back, though.
Oh, they did, yeah. Fair play to them. Yeah, they did get us back.
They got us. They put dynamite in our air conditioning unit, didn't they?
Yeah, dynamite again. You know, repetitive but effective, it turned out.
Yeah. I mean, effective in that it blew up the bus, which, of course, had our passports in. So that was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. A lot of damage was done as well.
Well, the bus was destroyed. That is a lot of damage. But, I mean, the real damage, sort of psychologically, I mean, I'm getting a bit emotional talking about it, but obviously we had sent off again for some home comforts, and my next copy of the Beano was also in that bus, and so was your next.
So was my next jar of bloody Branston pickle.
I know, and you just had spoon to mouth.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Just when we realised that the bus was exploding, and you know, in quite an incredible feat, really, you managed to drop the Branston pickle and dive out the back window.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's one of those things. You look back on it and think, why did I drop it? Why couldn't I have just hung on to it? I mean, I guess in situations like that, you know, whenever any person is in a situation where they're in a bus that's about to blow up, they're not firing on all cylinders, so they're not really thinking. I wouldn't have had the presence of mind to cling on to the Branston pickle, or maybe take one last bite of it before I put it down and ran.
No, there just wasn't time. And I don't think you should beat yourself up about that.
No, I try not to, you know, but this other island, I mean, I get it's just pranks and everything, but I think it's getting to me a little bit, you know, when they take away the Branston pickle.
It's taking its toll, certainly, yeah, because it started off as fun, the kind of prank war.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know, they've been a bit rough.
Maybe Alexander the Great has some hints for us about what we could do.
Okay, let's hear about it. What else have we got to say about him?
You know, at the age of 16, he became the regent of the throne while his father was away in battle, and proved himself to be very, very resourceful. Even at the age of 16, you know, there was this Thracian tribe of Mede, if that's how that's pronounced, that revolted. I don't mean they stunk, but I mean they probably did back then, because they...
Yeah, back in the day.
Because they didn't have Lynx Africa back then. So they revolted, and Alex ended up responding Alex ended up responding quickly, you know, and drove them all out. So he proved himself to be very, very resourceful, even at a young age.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the times where he named a city after himself.
Yeah, and that was a recurring theme with his later conquest of a lot of the planet. You know, he named about 70 cities and places after himself.
I've got 20 in my notes. Over 20, it says. So,
well, 70's over 20, yeah. So
yeah. Your maths is sound there.
But so he got a taste. It was like work experience almost. Him doing that, you know, just kind of like preparing for the job that he wanted. But he unfortunately became king under very unfortunate circumstances when his father, King Philip II, was assassinated.
He was stabbed.
Oh yeah, he was assassinated, right, by one of his bodyguards, captain of the bodyguards, Pausanias. Assassinated. Do you know where he was? He was at a wedding.
Oh, it's meant to be a happy day. It's meant to be a nice occasion, a wedding.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I can picture it now. They're all there. You know, they're all suited and booted. They're sat where they're all like chatting away. The DJ's there. He's maybe playing some music.
Yeah,
like,
Macarena's on or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's there just like, oh, let's have a cheer for the happy couple. And then everyone just like starts clapping. And then, you know, out of nowhere, stabbed in the back, killed at a wedding. You know, he was probably playing like Murder on the Dance Floor, you know, by Sophie Ellis-Bextor. And then suddenly there was a murder on the dance floor, you know, with King Philip II.
Yeah, murder on the dance floor. Wow. They
end up catching the captain of the bodyguards, Pausanias, and like killing him there and then. So like 2 murders, really, at this wedding. The poor bride and groom.
Oh, yeah. Blimey.
It's a happy day. And it's oh, for fuck's sake, really?
I mean, did they at least get their wedding gifts from Philip before he was murdered?
You know, that's a good point. I would hope. I mean, he's a king as well, so I mean, I'm sure he gives pretty nice wedding gifts.
Oh, he probably gave them an island or something.
Probably, yeah. But 2 murders, and then of course you got like this wedding DJ who's just stood there playing the music, looking at the bloodshed unfold. So he's like, right, well, oh my god, well, what can you do? Agadu. Do. Trying to lift the spirits of everyone.
And I bet it worked, because if there's a song that will always lift spirits, it's Agadu.
Absolutely. And, it was a mixed affair for Alexander there at the wedding, when he was at a wedding, which was a nice affair. But then his father was murdered. Not that good.
No.
But then, it turns out it's like, well, you're king now.
And Agadu.
But yeah, so after that event, he became the king. And his father was very much more diplomatic as a king. He wouldn't necessarily go into any kind of conflict unless it was absolutely necessary. Whereas Alexander, he was complete opposite direction. There was like more revolting, people of Thebes, Athens, Thessaly, not happy because King Philip II had just died. So they were revolting, but Alexander, rather than being diplomatic, he goes in with 3,000 cavalry, fights them and sorts it out that way.
It's one way of doing it, certainly.
It is. And maybe that's something that we should employ ourselves with this other holiday island.
You think our pranks they're not strong enough?
I mean, they certainly seemed funny at the time, but, the more I think about it, painting things on the sides of boats, rotten fish,
but you are forgetting about our third prank.
No, I mean, that was a good one too. I'm not knocking the pranks.
No, I mean, and listeners, you'll get a kick out of this as well, because we snuck over to their island, snuck into the hotel that they're repping for, and we filled their swimming pool with tzatziki.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, I didn't even know what tzatziki was. I was just happy to be part of a prank. But I was just, filling this pool up, just thinking, they are not going to believe it when they come out in the morning, jump in the pool.
No, and it's this minty, yogurty, Greek. Oh. I mean, they did, again, they escalated, didn't they, again? They got us back.
Yeah, we did dynamite again.
It was dynamite, and yeah, again, this time it was our hotel that they dynamited, the place where we've been living and working.
Yeah, specifically the pool.
Yeah, I mean, they did dynamite the pool, but I mean, most of the hotel was knocked to the ground.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, I was in the pool at the time, as you know. Like, I was just like lying on this lilo. The new jar of Branston pickle had just come in, so I was lying on this lilo. Spoon in one hand, Branston pickle in the other. I was like, oh, this is the life. This is living.
Yeah. Again, just about to take that first precious bite.
Yep, and then it's like, what the hell's that? Knocks the lilo over, knocks the jar out of my hand, goes into the water, dissipates, more explosions. I kind of come to. I was like, what the hell's going on? I look, swimming pool decimated, hotel decimated, tourists running round, just like, oh my god, what's going on, blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. Everyone's looking for their loved ones. I'm running around like, has anyone seen my Branston pickle? Where is it? I couldn't find what I was looking for either. It's just tragedy all round for everyone.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just sorry.
Yeah, that's 3 jars there. 3 jars from 3 pranks. I mean, like, what have we taken from then? Nothing, really.
No, ours were a bit milder. Do you know what? I've been thinking that we're in a prank war, but I don't think we are. I think maybe we are just at war.
Yeah.
People died in the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody's died from ours. The worst we've had is people feeling a bit queasy from rotten fish.
It's spun out of control a bit, really, hasn't it? Listeners, you join us as we are actually on the move. We kind of remembered that we'd left all these old people on a bus in the baking hot sun without windows that could open. So we're just kind of on our way back to the bus now, aren't we, Burch?
Yeah, it's funny, just lying there, just chatting away as we normally do. I completely forgot that they were on the bus on this day trip. I hope none of them have died. That'd be a bit awkward.
They'll be fine. They're all Brits, aren't they? They're all made of strong stuff. I mean, they are in their 60s and 70s.
And 80s. There's some very old people on that bus.
Well, yeah, that's anyway, that's why we're hurrying back.
Yeah. Maybe we should get a bit of a step on.
All right, well, while we're walking, why don't we just wrap up the episode for the listeners?
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. So that was the life and times of Alexander the Great. To be honest, I'm not sure how useful it was for our situation, but hopefully it was at least entertaining for the listener.
Yeah, that's all we could really hope for. I don't think we learned anything that could apply to our situation, and it has got me thinking, these rival reps, they really are building to something. Maybe we just give up. We've got enough money to at least escape the island before we get murdered by them.
It leaves me with a sour taste in my mouth, like basically them getting the upper hand.
I know, we're used to being the aggressors in any situation. Doesn't feel right, does it, to be the victims? Anyway, unfortunately, we don't have enough money quite yet to make it all the way back home to England. We do have enough, though, to get on the next boat that can take us to Rome.
Oh, I always wanted to visit Rome.
Yeah, it's just a little bit further along the Mediterranean. It gets us closer to home.
Yeah, are there any people from that neck of the woods that maybe we could kind of discuss for the podcast next time round?
Someone we could talk about next time. I mean, what about a great thinker, inventor, Leonardo da Vinci?
Sounds perfect.
I'm sure there'll be lots of shite to talk about with him.
With us, I'm sure there will be.
Okay, well, listener, thank you again for listening. If you have enjoyed the episode, please do give us a rating and a review wherever you are listening to this. You can find us on lots of places, your YouTubes, your Stitchers, your Apple Podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts. A rating and a review would really help the podcast.
Yep, Spotify too, anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. And not only that, you can also contact us. You can reach us by email at mailboxroguesgallery@gmail.com. And we've also got a Twitter, at mailboxrogues. You can also get us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, where we're Mailbox Rogues Gallery. All of these places that you can reach us, listen to us, let us know what you think of the podcast. Maybe you have suggestions, questions. We just want to entertain and connect with our audience.
Put beautifully, Burch. Put beautifully.
Thank you.
Anyway, we're nearly back at this bus now.
Yep, just up the hill.
Now, did you remember to, by the way, and don't take this as a slight.
No, of course not.
Did you remember to put the handbrake on when we left the bus? I mean, I know I was driving, but, I do the pedals, you do the steering wheel, I do the rear view mirror, you do the side mirrors, and then I do the horn, and you do the handbrake. That's how we traditionally, that's how we drive together as a partnership.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't put the handbrake on. What I thought was we had that big block of ice, didn't we, from the ice box in the back of the bus?
Yeah.
What I did is I just put this massive ice block right on top of the brake, the actual foot brake of the bus.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Well, then that would still be there probably. Or actually, will it?
I would have thought so. How long were we gone for? What, like 5 or 10 minutes?
Oh no, I think it's more like an hour.
Oh God, when we get chatting away, honestly, time just flies.
All right. Well, we're just around the corner from the bus now, and oh shit!
What is that? Is that bus moving?
It's heading towards the cliff.
Oh my God! Oh God. You old idiots! Quick, grab the wheel! Grab the wheel!
Half of them are asleep. They're just.
It's over. Oh. Oh my God! It's teetering over the edge.
It's literally just like seesawing over the edge of this cliff now, isn't it?
Oh my God! I'm starting to regret telling them all to sit closer to the front of the bus.
Do you know what, Burch? You're gonna hate this. As if the stakes of this situation were not already high enough, but I did actually have a little surprise for you on that bus.
You did? What was it?
In the glove box, I had for you a jar of Branston pickle.
Oh, Sean, that's so thoughtful. So it's at the front of the bus, which is currently teetering over the edge of that massive cliff.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Right. Well, it's times like this when you have to be brave, you have to be bold, and maybe one of those kindly old people on the bus can walk over to the glove box and throw me the jar of Branston pickle if we ask them nicely.
If we get the rest of them to shuffle towards the back, and then that one person could maybe kind of like crawl along the floor of the bus to try and reach the glove box and then maybe just throw it out the window.
Oh, sure. I mean, if anything, that jar of pickle is weighing them down, if anything. So less weight at the front of the bus could only be good for them.
Oh, hang on a minute. Some of the old folks have started waking up. They've realised what's happening to them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Wonder how they're going to take that.
Oh, they probably just think they're still dreaming or something. I mean, how improbable is it to be on a tour bus that's teetering over the edge of a cliff?
Yeah, no, true, yeah. And, if anything, I mean, let's be honest here, Sean. I mean, I don't wish death upon anyone, but if they think that they're currently in some kind of strange dream, then, I mean, that's all the better. I'm sure their families would appreciate that as well.
No, I tell you what, I've started to get a shiver down my spine. The number of times you've said to me, I don't wish death on anyone, but... Okay, look, the situation is desperate. Life hangs in the balance.
Yes.
But hang on a minute, I've got a great idea.
Oh, you do? Yeah, go on.
Why don't we... Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, right? But it could solve the issue.
I'm all ears.
Why don't we... fuck off this island and forget all about it?
Yeah.